is my fault. I don't think it's my fault that the adpocalypse happened. I think it's all of our fault. Like I think it's Hasan's fault. I think it's my fault. It's Central Committee's fault. It's Frogan's fault. It's Denham's fault. It's Tectone's fault. It's let's see, who else are we thinking? Probably like 1% maybe Quinn's fault. Like it's all of our faults. Like that's really the truth. Like I mean nobody went and made Frogan do like a tier list or a racial tier list. Nobody like I didn't make her do that. I mean, I find it to be kind of flattering, right? That like now, it's like my fault that all this is happening. But everybody knows like there's been a million bad things that have happened on Twitch, things people didn't get banned for, etc. That group, like I don't want to like say it's like a group of people, but it kind of is, of like Hasan, like Central Committee, Denham's, Frogan, all of those people. They've kind of defended a number of things that are extremely alienating for a lot of people. And I think that they've also defended a number of double standards and preferential treatment. Like, for example, like not getting banned for calling people crackers, or like the death threat thing only being like a 2 or a 3 day ban.
We need to ban the people that are calling people crackers. This is unacceptable, and it's a major problem that's happening. Okay, this is getting way out of control. So what started off as being Ethan Klein going after his old buddy Hasan has now expanded into being an entire adpocalypse affecting Twitch. Asmongold's talking about it, Mizkif is talking about it, Ludwig is talking about it, Hasan's talking about it, Ethan Klein's talking about it. Anyone you can think of that has a YouTube channel and is even tangentially related to Twitch is talking about it. This is crazy. Where to begin? Well, one of the through lines of this channel has been covering Ethan Klein and his attacking of Hasan. So I think that would be a good place to start. We have Ethan Klein posting a video that says, Twitch says Zionist is now a slur. Misleading title right off the bat. In fact, I was going to wait to get to this context until after we watch the video, but let's just read this article right now. So, what is the new update that Twitch is undergoing? We can see here this article by NBC News says, Twitch changes its hateful content policy to include Zionist as potential slur following criticism. So already, even the title of Ethan Klein's video is misleading. It's not saying that Zionist is a slur. It says it could potentially be used as a slur. And let's see if we can actually see the Twitch updates. We have updated our enforcement guidelines. Read more here. Oh. Okay, that opened automatically. If we click here, what do we get? All right, so this is the policy update. Our hateful conduct policy is designed to protect our community from attacks on a person's protected characteristics such as race, nationality, religion, or sexuality. The policy prohibits harmful behaviors like suggesting that a victim of harm deserved it or sharing a hateful image or symbol. Let's skip down to this. The language you use to cause harm and spread hate changes over time. To ensure our policies adapt to those changes, we review them and how they're applied to prevent those harms. That's perfectly fine. The swastika wasn't always a hatred symbol, but that changed over time. As part of our hateful conduct policy, we prohibit the use of terms that may not be harmful or abusive in isolation, but can be used as a slur or to denigrate others in certain contexts. In line with that approach, starting today, using the term Zionist to attack or demean another individual or group of people on the basis of their background or religious belief is against our rules. So one interesting thing here is they already have rules that ban you from attacking someone based off of intrinsic characteristics like their background or religious beliefs or like their ethnicity or something like that. So this additional rule is meaningless. Effectively, it's meaningless. If you already have rules that prevent harassment based off of background or religious belief, which, I mean, to be fair, you should be able to criticize someone's religious belief. I think harassment is different, or than criticism of someone's religious belief. But this rule is effectively meaningless. It's if you are passing a rule that's designed to minimize harassment for like a specific person, even though your broad, all-encompassing rules already prevent that harassment, it's a meaningless rule and pretty much done to address all of the criticism that Twitch is experiencing. And let's just continue. We recognize that Zionist and Zionism also refer to a political movement. Using the term to refer to the political movement, whether in a supportive or critical way, does not violate our hateful conduct policy. So using the term Zionist to attack or demean another individual or group of people on the basis of their background or religious belief is against our rules. Okay, this doesn't make any sense. If you're referring to someone as a Zionist and that's their religious belief, how is that different from a political movement? Your politics are tied to your actions. If you are in an organized religion and that religion decides that we want to have an ethno-state, obviously that's going to affect politics. So how can you separate a religious belief of Zionism to a political belief of Zionism? This doesn't make any sense. And again, like I already explained why this additional rule that Twitch made doesn't actually make sense. They already have rules that are against harassment. I'm just going to look this up. Twitch hateful conduct policy. I can already tell this video is going to be long. Twitch hateful conduct policy. All right, what is this? So this was in 2020, introducing our new hateful conduct and harassment policy. So this is an updated policy that's going to take place in 2021. What's new in the policy? To ensure we've provided adequate detail, we've broken the policy out into 3 sections: harassment, hateful conduct, and sexual harassment. And we'll walk through key takeaways. Harassment. Targeted campaigns through attention-seeking behaviors that are designed to disrupt, harm, or hijack a community or stream. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty well-defined harassment there. Hateful conduct. Harassment becomes hateful conduct when the attack is based on identity characteristics. We consider the following identity-based attributes to be protected characteristics: race, ethnicity, color, caste, national origin, immigration status, religion, sex, gender identity, sexual orientation, disability, serious medical condition, and veteran status. Just one thing, like when we're talking about religion, I do think that it's fine, or that you should have protection from being harassed because of your religion. But when your religion and your religious beliefs start bleeding into your political actions, then you can obviously be criticized for it. So one glaring example is the abortion debate that's happening in the US right now. Should we not criticize Christians' views on abortion? Should we not criticize like religious fundamentalists' actions to try to get abortion banned nationwide because that's a part of their religion? It's completely ridiculous. So I think it's the kind of like the rule where, you know, everyone has freedoms, but when your freedom ends is when my freedom begins, kind of. So if you are trying to enforce your religious ideology onto me, then it can start to be criticized, or onto other people too. Like, I think you can criticize religious people, like religious fundamentalists, for indoctrinating their children, having crazy, like, cloistered off communities where you're just forced to be in this cult, and if you back out of it, you get excised from your family. So I think that's like fair game to criticize too. But we're getting pretty off point. Let's go back to this article. So it can be used as a slur to denigrate others in specific contexts. Or let's go here. We recognize that Zionists and Zionism also refer to a political movement. Using the term to refer to the political movement, whether in a supportive or critical way, does not violate our hateful conduct policy. just one thing, like there is no Zionist religion. That's just not a thing. So again, talking about how Zionist is a background or religious belief is insane. It's like strictly a political belief, and we can get into that, but I just want to get through this article, cover Ethan, get back into Zionism, and then cover the backlash and the fallout of everything. So this is going to be a ambitious video. So our goal isn't to stifle conversation about or criticism of an institution or ideology, but to prevent coded hate directed at individuals and groups of people. We include examples of the language we prohibit in our enforcement notes here. Okay, let's take a look at this, because I would love to see coded hate used, Zionism used in a coded hate context. Do they have examples? Wait, for example, so promote, glorify, threaten, or advocate violence, physical harm, or death against individuals or groups on the basis of a protected characteristic. Okay, so this is just protected characteristics. Again, Zionism isn't a protected characteristic. It's the same reason as like being a Republican or Democrat isn't a protected characteristic. All right, let's go back. We want to make sure that our hateful conduct policy continues to be flexible and cover terms that may be used to cause harm. So, okay. I just want to do this video. If this loads. So the reason I want to bring this up is, so Ethan Klein on Friday, he played the game called Twitch or Terrorist, where he got quotes from Twitch streamers and basically said like, oh, well, they're so bad that they could be terrorist quotes. So I just want to cover these. Like, did they use Zionist in any of these? I mean, these weren't only Twitch quotes, because a lot of them were posts on Twitter. However, like, did they even use Zionism in this?
It was Lebanon. Next,
so this one. First it was Gaza, then it was Lebanon, next it's the rest of the world. They own America, they own Europe, they control information, porn, Hollywood, banking, and your favorite celebrity CEO. Israel's just getting started. Resist. Okay, so didn't use Zionism there. Let's skip. If they're Muslims, they call them terrorists. If they're white, they call them mentally ill. If they're Israel, they call them our greatest ally. Again, didn't use the term Zionist there. Tanks, drones, and snipers against a decapitated man wielding a stick. The perfect visual representation of this war. Cowards operating the world's most advanced military equipment versus the sheer will of human spirit. Didn't use Zionist there. Leftists preach and foam at the mouth at the thought of a revolution happening in America, but as soon as it happens in the Middle East, what they're doing is wrong. Okay, didn't use Zionism there. Bloodthirsty, violent pig dog. Didn't use Zionism. Stop calling them globalists, elitists, Frankists, Sabatianists, communists, deep state, Zionists, oligarchists, Rothschild bankers. Just say Jews. Okay, did use Zionism here, and he's saying that they're Jews, so... I mean, what was this? Was this actually on Twitch? Yeah, I mean, this was on X, and he's I mean, in this case, he is kind of using Zionist as an example of someone, that is like kind of being anti-Semitic with it, right? He's saying, oh, well, if you say Zionist, then you mean Jews. What's ironic is that Ethan Klein also does the same thing. He says that any criticism towards Zionism is criticism towards Jews. So I don't know why Ethan would disagree with this when, like, this guy, Myron Gaines, is bringing up a bunch of dog whistles, and he's like, all of these dog whistles are just Jews, right? And, I mean, Ethan has done the exact same thing with Zionists. Obviously, this is anti-Semitic, right? Oh, Jews are globalists. Jews are the oligarchs. Jews are communists. Jews are deep state. Which, I mean, what's funny is Ethan Klein is like, Karl Marx wasn't a Jew. He was a communist. So Ethan's doing like the whole. He's doing like the Jewish gatekeeping. And then again, United States should be held responsible at the end of the day for 9/11, the same way that people say Israel should be held responsible for the attack on October 7th. Yeah. So I mean, nothing actually. No one actually used Zionist as a dog whistle for Jews except Myron, and in that case, Ethan would agree with him because Ethan's criticized people for. Like, he thinks that Zionism does mean Jews too. So let's take a look at this video.
Which has said Zionism as a slur is no longer allowed, people. You can't just call anyone a Zionist anymore. I have some pretty conflicted thoughts on this change. Let me read it to you and then I'll give you my thoughts. Let's see here. Our hateful conduct policy is designed to protect our community from attacks based on a person's protected characteristics such as race, nationality, religion, or sexuality. The policy prohibits harmful behavior, like suggesting that a victim of harm deserved it, or sharing a hateful image or symbol. An image of hate. I'm really curious. Hateful image or symbol. Does that include the Houthi flag that says a curse upon the Jews? Because that is still up on Hasan's channel, just for the record, but. Maybe then it says Jews. It doesn't say Zionism. Maybe that's the new walk around. They're like, yeah, no, fuck it. I said Jews, not Zionist. The language used to cause harm and spread hate changes over time. So true. To ensure our policies adapt to those changes, we review them and how they're applied to prevent those harms. So admirable. As part of...
Bro, why is he being so snarky with this update? Like, isn't this exactly what he wanted? And I mean, once again, criticizing Hasan playing a Houthi music video is pretty bottom of the barrel, right? It's not Hasan highlighting the fucking flag and being like, yes, we should do this. It's not Hasan saying we should kill all of the Jews. It's Hasan playing a Houthi music video one time and then I don't know, he's not like promoting any of the ideas that we should kill Jews, right? The only thing Hasan has been promoting is the idea that we should resist against colonial occupying forces.
For hateful conduct policy, we prohibit the use of terms that may not be harmful or abusive in isolation, but can be used as a slur or to I'm having trouble with this word. What the denigrate? Oh, denigrate. I thought it was, almost made me say the N-word. I'm telling you, this denigrate word is dangerous. I almost said that, you guys. I would have been...
Bro, what the fuck? What? But can be used as a slur or to denigrate others? Wait, was Ethan saying he was like D-N-word others? Bro, what? Why would your mind jump to that? What? How did he stumble over the word denigrate? Oh my God, I gotta run that back. That was insane.
I thought it was terms that may not be harmful or abusive in isolation, but can be used as a slur or to I'm having trouble with this word. What the denigrate? Oh, denigrate. I thought it was almost made me say the N-word. I'm telling you this.
Bro, what the fuck? Okay, full disclosure, this is the first time I'm watching this Ethan Klein video. What? Has he never seen that before?
Denigrate word is dangerous. I almost said that, you guys. I would have been in violation of this very thing I'm reading. Unintentionally, of course. But can be used as a slur or to...
Bro, I'm sorry. If you read the word denigrate and you say the N-word, like, I have no pity for you. It's like that conservative guy who is apparently, according to him, he mixed up the word migrant and immigrant, and if you combine those two words, you get the N-word with the hard R. So, like, what the fuck? That's, I don't know. If you're confusing that word with the N-word, it's almost like you've got that word, like, you've got the muscle memory of the N-word down, and it just like, oh, I slipped into saying the N-word.
Integrate others in certain contexts. In line with that approach, starting today, using the term Zionist to attack or demean another individual or group of people on the basis of their background or religious beliefs is against our rules. We recognize that Zionist and Zionism also refer to a political movement. Using the term to refer to the political movement, whether in a supportive or critical way, does not violate our hateful conduct policy. Our goal isn't to stifle conversation or criticism of an institution or ideology, but to prevent coded hate directed at individuals and groups of people. We include examples of the language we prohibit in our enforcement here. We want to make sure that our hateful conduct policy continues to be flexible and yada, 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 yada. Here's my take. I'm pretty sure that...
Okay, before Ethan gets into his take, I just kind of want to categorize what Ethan's whole position has been on this Zionism thing. Since the beginning, since I started covering this whole stupid drama between Ethan and Hasan, Ethan has consistently said, I don't know what Zionism means. People will say Zionism, but what they really mean is Jews. And so Twitch is pretty clearly saying, if you use the term Zionist to refer to Jews, that is a violation of our hate speech policy. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how you use it, right? If you say, like, kill all Zionists, and I'm not talking about the non-Jewish people that are Zionists, I don't know, then that would be a violation, right? Because they're like, oh, well, you actually just want to kill all Jews. What Twitch is doing is saying that we're going to separate people targeting Jews, but using Zionist as a dog whistle, which, I mean, I've never seen an actual anti-Semitic person use Zionist as a dog whistle. We saw Myron Gaines use Zionist in a list of like 10 other dog whistles for Jewish people. So I guess that's an example of it. But at the end of the day, he'll say, just say that they're Jews, right? Like, it's ironic because the one example that we did see someone using Zionist as a term for Jews, that anti-Semite was advocating for the abandonment of Zionism as a dog whistle for Jewish people. So that's kind of funny. But I mean, this is exactly what Ethan wants, right? He wants Twitch to say, if you are using this dog whistle as a veneer for Jewish hatred, for Jew hatred, then you are going to get banned. But if you're using it to criticize the ideology of Zionism, then we're noting that is as a distinction from like the anti-Semitism. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting, right? Because this is almost calling out Ethan's bluff. Is Ethan actually in favor of people getting banned for using Zionism as a dog whistle, but then he has to concede that, okay, well, actually, it is valid to criticize certain ideologies and the ideology of Zionism. It is valid to criticize Zionism as an ideology. So is Ethan going to concede that, or is he going to say that's not enough? There is no ideology of Zionism. The ideology of Zionism is just that 8 million Jews should not be forced to leave Israel. There should not be a pogrom on Jews. That's what Zionism is. So either Ethan's going to concede that there is a Zionism ideology here, or he's going to be forced to basically say that Zionism is not an ideology and it specifically only refers to Jewish people, which is going to be interesting. Twitch has almost called his bluff here, and Ethan's kind of at a crossroads right now. So I'm curious to see what he's going to say.
And yada, 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 yada. Here's my take. I'm pretty sure that there must be at least 20 VODs of Hasan's, of him using that word as a... Okay, here's my issue. Already, Twitch is not...
Okay, so, I mean, is he going to address what Twitch actually said? Is he going to address the rules? Well, we'll see.
Enforcing their own policies. The Houthi videos, of the propaganda videos of interviewing the terrorist kid, of the Houthis like storming this shipping boat.
Bro, once again, Ethan's doing misinformation. That Yemeni teenager that Hasan interviewed is not a terrorist. Ethan has no evidence of that. So just want to explain that. Ethan has no evidence that that teenager is a terrorist. Okay. And also, with all of these examples that he's listing, Houthi propaganda, interviewing a Yemeni teenager, watching a video of Yemeni or Houthi pirates taking over a ship. What does that have to do with like using Zionism as a dog whistle for Jews, especially like to degrade Jews? I mean, the strongest case that Ethan has is that in that music video, in the background of the music video, they had the Houthi flag, and like a fourth of the flag was "curse upon the Jews."
It's still,
And again, what's funny is like that doesn't have anything to do with Zionism, right? So
up on Hasan's channel, and he has not been punished, not even warned, as far as I know. It's kind of funny. They threw like his little waiting room friends under the bus, but he's totally fine somehow, even though this is really all about him. So they already don't enforce their policy, right? So that doesn't give me a lot of faith. But then the other thing is, so who?
okay, I just need to run that back to actually respond to everything that Ethan says. Basically, what's interesting to me about this video is that Ethan does not give a fuck about the policy. He's not actually engaging with the updated policy. He's just mad that he's mad that Twitch updated its policy in response to the criticism that it was getting, instead of simply banning Hasan or punishing Hasan.
Hasan's channel, and he has not been punished. I'm pretty sure that there must be at least 20 VODs of Hasan's, of him using that word as a. Okay, here's my issue.
Okay, so I mean, again, the Twitch terms of service update specifically said if you use the term Zionist to attack like a person based off of their background or religion, then that's like a violation of their hate speech. So Ethan was about to say, oh, there's at least 20 VODs of Hasan using that term, and then he stops himself there. So what was he going to say? There's at least 20 VODs of Hasan using that term to attack people based off of their background or their religion. That's the path that Ethan was going down, and he stopped himself because he realized that's not actually what Hasan was using the term for. Hasan has always used the term Zionist to refer to the political movement, which is just like an ethno-fascist state in Israel. So, again, Ethan can't engage with this point. He can't. So I said, like when we started this video, Ethan's getting called out here by the Twitch terms of service update. Either he has to concede that this is what he wanted, and he will concede there's a difference between Zionism's political ideology and people using Zionism as like a veneer for anti-Semitism, or he's going to just say that there is no like political ideology of Zionism. And instead of like engaging in this cross in the road, like this fork in the road, he's just ignoring it altogether, and he's going back to saying that Hasan is being hateful against Jewish people. And it's because he interviewed a Yemeni teenager, he played a video of Houthi pirates attacking a ship. I mean, Ethan himself will say that that ship had nothing to do with Jewish people. And what, Hasan played a music video of like a Houthi music video. Those are the three things that Ethan's pissed off about that should get Hasan banned.
Already, Twitch is not enforcing their own policies. The Houthi videos, the propaganda videos of interviewing the terrorist kid, of the Houthi.
I mean, Ethan's saying that already Twitch is not enforcing their own policies, but this policy update has nothing, like it wouldn't affect Hasan at all, because Hasan has never used Zionism to call out a person's religious background. So, I mean, Ethan says already it's not enforcing its own policies, but he should just be mad at Twitch for their already existing policies and not enforcing it. So he's using this update as an excuse to once again attack Hasan for things that Hasan has already debunked and addressed.
He's like storming this shipping boat, It's still up on Hasan's channel, and he has not been punished, not even warned, as far as I know. It's kind of funny. They threw like his little waiting room friend.
I mean, again, what does a video of a Houthi militant group taking over a shipping, like a ship, like a cargo ship, have anything to do with being anti-Zionist? Like, it's basically like a point removed from the basics, right? The basics, it's an act of piracy. I don't think that's a bannable offense. It's not like gore, it's not violence, it's not any sexual or nudity or anything like that. Simply an act of piracy. Do we not show, I don't know, videos of military groups like securing a bunker or something? I don't fucking know what they show on Twitch, but it's an act of piracy, okay? There's obviously violence implied. None of it was shown. And then you can go into like an even further point of connection and say that they were doing it because they were fighting against ostensibly Zionism. And that's even further, right? They're fighting against the genocide. The genocide is caused by Zionism. So it's like 4 points. Zionism is 4 points removed from that. And even in that sense, we're talking about Zionism as a political ideology, the idea that you do need to take over the West Bank, you do need to take over Gaza. So, I mean, again, Ethan's not engaging with the point of this, well, what I thought the point of this video was, which is the new terms of service for Twitch.
It's under the bus, but he's totally fine somehow, even though this is really all about him. So they already don't enforce their policy, right? So that doesn't give me a lot of faith. But then the other thing is, so who's going to decide if the usage of Zionist is a slur or if it's like a relevant label, right? Is it going to be the same people that are refusing to punish Hasan for flying a Houthi flag that says curse?
Bro, that's the only thing Ethan has, that the Houthi flag was curse upon the Jews. Okay, hold on. I need to look this up. I'm going to play this.
The Jews, he didn't fly it, but you guys know what I mean. It's in the background of the videos he enjoys. What about, Hasan glazing up Hasan Nasrallah? He doesn't deserve me saying his name fully. He doesn't have that respect. He's fucking dead. He's dead. No, he's not.
Bro, Hasan literally did not glaze him. He said he was a brilliant man. Noam Chomsky also said he was a brilliant man. Noam Chomsky also said he held him in high regard. If Ethan had clips of Hasan glazing Hasan Nasrallah, he would have played them. He didn't. We can look at his last. Like Ethan Klein's last video that he's made on this channel, and we'll see the clips that he used to show that Hasan loves Hasan Nasrallah. It's just, there's no there, right? There's nothing, and we'll go back to that. But bro, he's grasping at straws so much, and this is the thing. Ethan will come up with he'll come up with some points, right? And then Hasan will address the points. But Ethan's already set in his mind, and he has these talking points that he clings to, and it's kind of like whack-a-mole. He'll go from one point, he'll get knocked down, he'll go to another point, that will get knocked down, he'll go to another point, that will get knocked down, then he'll go back to the first point. And it's just this cycle that never ends.
Nasrallah. So who's going to make that call, right? Is it Dan Clancy's going to be making that call? Who's qualified to make that? I know that everybody who works at Twitch is like mega Hasan simps, right? We've seen the videos of Dan Clancy singing him happy birthday and forcing everyone to participate, but they all love him and they all think and feel the same way. So who's doing it? Who has the wisdom, the cultural background to say this one is racist and this one is okay? I'd like to know, because I
mean, Twitch has a moderation team, I'm assuming, that enforces their content policies. This is a really stupid argument from Ethan Klein here. Again, this has nothing to do with the new terms of service update. Ethan has already said that he thinks Hasan is getting preferential treatment from the people who are in charge of who gets banned and who doesn't get banned. Again, he's not addressing the actual terms of service update. He said that, oh, well, Twitch didn't enforce their policies before. Why would they enforce them now? Why even make a video about this then, Ethan? You're not saying anything new. You've said everything before.
That's important because as it stands, the people who are in policy, frankly, are clearly not capable of making that call. If it was like some Jewish advocacy group that was involved in these decisions, then I think like, okay, that might be legit.
Okay, so that's funny. He says it has to be a Jewish advocacy group. Why does it have to be a Jewish advocacy group? Again, Ethan is conflating Zionism with Judaism. Ethan is he flips back and forth on whether he trusts Jewish people or he doesn't like the fact that they're Jewish, whether your Judaism is a good thing that you should add to your resume or if it's completely irrelevant. So, what am I talking about here? Well, he got really mad when Hasan said that Ethan Klein should talk to Sam Cedar. Why would I have to talk to Sam Cedar? Why do I need to talk to your pre-approved list of Jews? What, Hasan? Are you just going around collecting anti-Zionist Jews that you can throw at me like Pokemon? That's so anti-Semitic, Hasan. Why can't you talk to me about it? You're not Jewish. Why do you need to be Jewish to understand what I'm talking about? Why do you need to be Jewish to engage in my points? And Hasan's like, well, you're talking about getting a lot of criticism as a Jewish person online. I thought you might be able to talk to Sam Cedar about this. He's a pretty open Jew who's online. He's experienced anti-Semitism before. Maybe you can talk with him about this very specific climate we're in and how to balance this Zionism, anti-Zionism, pro-Israel, pro-Palestinian tightrope that we find ourselves in. What else? Oh, Hasan has a Jewish friend on his stream with him who's criticizing Israel. So what? Just because he's Jewish doesn't mean that he's right. And then Ethan will also say, oh, well, Karl Marx, he's not a Jew. He's communist. Just stripping his Jewishness off of him when it's a Jew that he doesn't like, right? Oh, well, your Jewishness is irrelevant when you're criticizing Israel. Your Jewishness is irrelevant when you're being a communist. But all of a sudden, your Jewishness is relevant when you're trying to ban Hasan from Twitch. So it's gross. It's gross. And it's just Ethan essentializing people's personalities to being Jewish when it suits his needs and ignoring and stripping away their Jewishness when it is like a thorn in his side, when it's disproving his point. When his point is that every Jewish person experiences people saying free Palestine, heavens forbid the harassment, the anti-Semitism I get in my comments, all of these watermelons, all of these free Palestine comments, just because I'm a Jewish content creator. That makes me so sad. And then he'll be like, I'm not talking to Sam Cedar. I don't care that he's Jewish. Oh, you had a Jewish friend on? Ridiculous. I don't care. What are you trying to do? Say that just because they're Jewish, they have a relevant opinion on this? Why can't we talk man on man? And now he's saying, well, we need this Jewish tribunal to go through every single Hasan stream and see if he's right or not. That's kind of crazy.
Because as it stands, the people who are in policy, frankly, are clearly not capable of making that call. If it was like some Jewish advocacy group that was involved in these decisions, then I think like, okay, that might be legit. But as it stands, it seems to be a pretty hollow guarantee from Twitch trying to make these things smooth over. And I think it's going to cause them a lot of trouble. I think it's insane. It's an insanely new policy because it's like the word Zionist is thrown around on Twitch like, every other word with these political streamers, right? So how the fuck are they going to actually sort through that and decide? And then they're going to get like massive tons of reports.
Bro, what the fuck are you talking about? How does any website ever do content moderation? This is like one of the worst reactions to this than I was expecting. I was just expecting him to say that there is no difference between Zionism and anti-Zionism, but he's not even engaging in it. Anyway, wanted to watch this. This is the music video that Ethan has a
think you
huge
probably got
problem
life.
with.
Yeah.
Like we took that fucking Saudi deal.
You did?
Oh yeah, me and XUC both.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we did. I'm sorry. I needed the money.
Oh, you want to see a Houthi musical?
Sure. These were the people of the South.
Bro, why does Hasan say Houthi musical? I mean, it's not a Disney movie.
Saudis were killing, by the way. Just so you know, these fucking musically gifted individuals.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I need the money, guys.
I'm gonna grab my food.
I'm so confused. What is this?
اسأل أصحاب الفخامة والمعالي واسألوا عن الحشود العسكري يوم سيطرنا على الخوبة بآلي ما نبالي بالهمر والمدفعية.
That is fucking hilarious. Hasan plays the video and then just walks up and leaves.
What is going on? Can you explain this?
Okay, so anyway, this is the one frame that Ethan is all bent out of shape about, and it's this text. I mean, you literally can't even read it. So basically, Ethan's saying that Hasan played Hasan put a slogan on his stream that said "Curse upon the Jews" is insane. Like, why would you even bring it up? Basically, the only thing Ethan really has to talk about is that Hasan is not shitting on Houthi, like the Houthi groups. So, again, I mean, yeah, if you have "Curse upon the Jews" in your flag, that's pretty anti-Semitic. But let's just put this into a little bit of more historical context. When we look at the Israeli laws, we see that, I mean, one of the recent constitutional amendments is that it stipulates it's the Jewish nation state law. Like, you can put this up yourself. But one of Israel's quasi-constitutional basic laws, it stipulates that the right to self-determination in Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories is unique to the Jewish people. So, yeah, Israel is like pretty much defining itself as a Jewish nation state. So when Israel has laws saying that Jews are better than other people, how do you really expect groups that Israel is invading and advocating for the extermination of to react to that? So again, like, every time Ethan's like, oh, well, I think Israel has a right to exist. Okay, so are you saying Israel has a right to give be an apartheid state where it gives more rights to Jewish people than not Jewish people? Is that what you're saying, Ethan? So everything Ethan accuses Hasan of, you can flip back onto Ethan Klein like tenfold, simply because Israel is doing everything that these resistance groups are doing, except way worse, and with the support of the United States, which is like the most powerful military in the world. And then we can also, I mean, Ethan has also played a music video, an Israeli music video on his stream where basically it's like a bunch of Israelis doing a song in Tel Aviv. They're recording it. If you look up the lyrics of the song, it's talking about how the Jews are going to kill everyone. They're making a list of their enemies. They're going to beat you all up. And they don't like to lose, so you better watch out, watch your back, because they're going to step on your neck. That's the literal lyrics of the song. So again, which is more genocidal, right? A song that doesn't speak about the Jews at all, but in the background there's a flag of a resistance group, strictly, I mean, yeah, which is a direct response to Israel's, definitively Jewish elitism. Like, that's what the flag is, right? Death to Israel. I mean, curse be upon the Jews. Horrible, but it is understandable when there's a colonial power in the region that defines itself as having Jews being better than other people, and it's in their constitution. So, I mean, again, horrible, but you can explain it. And that pales in comparison to anything that Israel's done.
I don't know how they're going to do it. I doubt that I don't even doubt that they'll ever even.
Oh, and then just one thing. So Ethan was saying that if we had a Jewish advocacy group, I initially took that to mean that it had to be like Jewish people, but it's like a Jewish advocacy group. Basically what Ethan's talking about there is the ADL, but I do need to kind of correct myself. He wasn't saying we need Jewish people targeting Hasan. He's saying a Jewish advocacy group targeting Hasan. Like there is a difference there, but there's not, I mean, there's a distinction there, but it's not really much of a difference. I mean, again, if you're specifically saying like you need to have an advocacy group of every type of ethnicity, like you're just watering down the content moderation. And why wouldn't it? I don't know. Ethan has had an issue in my opinion, of ignoring like other marginalized groups in favor of his Jewishness, which I 100% like understand his initial reaction where he wants to talk about how Jewish people are getting harassed, right? Jewish people are some of the most harassed people in the United States, the most harassed minority group. However, it does, I don't know, it does kind of come off as like centering himself in the conflict when he doesn't talk about Islamophobia, when he doesn't talk about black racism. So it does come off as disingenuous. And then also when he doesn't talk about, in my opinion, more real and concrete and material forms of anti-Semitism. And instead, he chooses to focus on Hasan. He chooses to focus on Frogan. He chooses to focus on Dan Clancy and the whole Twitch group. When his main point of contention is that one streamer one time had a very pixelated, blurry frame of the Houthi flag, and 1/6 of the Houthi flag said "Curse be upon the Jews" in Arabic. And that's his main criticism, and that's what he's been fixating on for over a month now. I do think that Ethan's kind of an unserious person when you have actual Nazi rallies happening like pretty much all across the United States. He doesn't cover that. When his producer talks about how he saw a man dressed in a Nazi uniform, sig-hailing, Ethan joked and said, oh, well, he was wearing a mask. He must have been the CEO of Twitch. It doesn't come off as very genuine, and it comes off as Ethan being extremely self-centered, extremely secluded from like the outside world in his own little bubble, and he doesn't know how to deal with things that aren't in that bubble. And so he comes up with these little battles that he wants to fight himself, and he can't really he's feeding that to his audience, and I think it's making the world a much smaller place for his audience, and it's just generally not good. Because again, if you only show like a very narrow view of the world, that is effectively disinformation, especially when someone has as big of an audience as Ethan Klein.
Enforce that rule one time, not even one single time. So yeah, empty, hollow. I mean, Hasan has been glazing up. This dude, bad Empanada. If you guys know.
Oh my God, we're going to get into this, dude. I mean, just once again, before we get into the bad Empanada stuff, this is exactly what Ethan wanted, right? He wanted people to get banned because he was saying that they were using Zionism as a dog whistle for Jews. They were using Zionists as a dog whistle for Jews. And so when that Yemeni teenager, I should honestly learn his name, when that Yemeni teenager posted a picture of a guy getting crucified, Ethan said, he said, this is what we're going to do to all Zionists, Ethan said. And then Hasan was saying, oh, well, he didn't say all Jews, he said all Zionists. Ethan responded to that and said, what, should he be wearing a yarmulke? Do we need to spell it out for you, Hasan? He's clearly referring to Jews. So again, this is exactly what Ethan wants, right? Twitch is saying we're going to put an end to people using Zionism as a code word for Jews. And when he gets what he wants, he's like the dog that caught the car. He's like the dog that caught up to the mail truck. He doesn't know what to do with it. So what does he do with it? He just rejects it outright. I know I've been arguing for Twitch to update its content moderation and say that, like, call out people for using Zionism as a slur. But when they finally do that, I mean, they're not enforcing their policies anyway. Their policies are already not being enforced. In fact, we need a specific Jewish advocacy group to specifically moderate anti-Jewish stuff that's happening on Twitch. Yeah, so just unwilling to engage in it with it. And what does he do? He says, well, they're not doing it anyway. Let's talk about bad Empanada.
That is, he's like actually psychotic, and he's been making a lot of hate videos about me and calling Ela terrorist and baby killer and all this. And Hasan's been enjoying his videos. Here's a tweet from him. You guys will enjoy this. It says, oh, Hamas raped a bunch of babies and kids now? Where's the video evidence of it? I was looking to jerk off anyway. You think I'm kidding? That's a real tweet.
Okay, so first of all, that is not a real tweet, and we'll get into that. Second of all, this is what Ethan's been doing, and Hasan even calls this out. Ethan has been unable to actually find anything that Hasan has done that has been a bannable offense. I mean, that's why he keeps going back to that Houthi video where it does say, like, curse upon the Jews in Arabic, in pixelated Arabic, in the background for a single frame of the music video. Again, it's basically B footage for a music video. I mean, whatever. We already covered that. So what does he do? Instead of attacking Hasan, he attacks the people that are tangential to Hasan. He says that Frogan made a racial tier list where they had Jewish people on the bottom, Arabs on the top. Again, not true. He's mischaracterizing people. He's mischaracterizing people that are even tangentially connected to Hasan to try to get Hasan banned. So he mischaracterizes Frogan. He mischaracterizes this guy, Bad Empanada. He attacks that Yemeni teenager for making anti-Zionist posts and saying that the teenager was on the ship with the captain that the Houthis had captured. Oh, he must be a terrorist then. He's posting anti-Zionist propaganda on Twitter. He must be a terrorist. So he's criticizing the teenager Hasan interviewed, Bad Empanada, who Hasan reacted to like 2 of his videos. He's criticizing Frogan. All of this to try to criticize Hasan because the only real criticism he has of him is he showed the Houthi flag for a second on the video. Like it was in one frame. Hasan paused on that frame, funnily enough. So it was on Hasan's stream for longer than a second. But I mean, that's pretty much a coincidence. So anyway, let's just get into this now. Oh God. Bad. All right, here we go.
Is obviously crafted specifically of followers. Organizations can look at the handle and see that it was an impersonator.
All right, what do we got here? So this is Bad Empanada's response to Ethan Klein.
Reveal anything about them and who they are just in case they catch wind of it, which unfortunately this video might make some of them catch wind of it, which is why I really didn't want to talk about this until the time to actually do so came. So now I will. Anyway, so Ethan Klein has shared a defamatory screenshot, a fake screenshot.
So I'm just going to read it because I don't think Bad Empanada does. Hasan has been promoting this dude because he hates me. Every time Ethan opens his mouth, it starts another rabbit hole that we need to get down. What's funny about this tweet is Hasan has reacted to a few of Bad Empanada's videos, neither of which have been about Ethan Klein. As Bad Empanada has made a lot of videos about Ethan Klein, Hasan has reacted to a few of Bad Empanada's videos, but those ones weren't about Ethan. The videos Hasan reacted to were about Destiny and a Loner Box, both of whom are defending Israel's genocide. those are extremely valid videos to make and react to. Hasan reacted to Ethan by himself. He doesn't need a man making a video about it to react to. I think the reason, again, how self-centered do you need to be? Like, imagine you're Ethan Klein, right? You see that this guy has been making videos about you. And what is he criticizing you of in the videos that he's making about you? He's criticizing you of defending a genocide. Then you see Hasan reacting to some of this guy's videos, and you say, oh, he must be platforming this man because this man... I actually don't know what this first sentence means. Does it mean Hasan has been promoting him because Hasan hates me, or Hasan has been promoting Bad Empanada because Bad Empanada hates him? Either way, I don't think it makes a difference. But Ethan's basically saying Hasan's only reacting to this guy because this guy's been targeting me. It's like, really, Ethan? It has nothing to do with the fact that Destiny and Lonerbox have been straight up defending a genocide. Like, not only criticizing people's pro-Palestinian stances, like what Ethan has been doing, but actually being pro-Israel in their specific genocidal acts, like Israelis sniping children, like Israel justifying basically the extermination of the Palestinian people. That's what Destiny, that's what Lonerbox have been doing. They've been going through the specific genocidal acts that Israel's doing and justified it. So, okay, that's a degree worse than what Ethan Klein has been doing. Ethan has been pretty much silent on the genocide and been attacking pro-Palestinian voices. Destiny and Lonerbox have been pro-genocide. So yeah, there is a degree of difference there, and that's the video that Hasan was reacting to. So this tweet is stupid. This Instagram story from Ethan is lying. Again, like every time Ethan opens his mouth, he lies. But let's just finish reading it. Hasan has been promoting this dude because he hates me, but he's actually insane, so shout out Hasan for platforming this genuinely sick fuck. Oh my god. Okay, once again, in terms of platforming, you should be criticizing someone's like unhinged takes. You should be criticizing them if you bring them up. That's kind of a big issue that a lot of people had with Tim Walz and JD Vance. That being said, Hasan is reacting to what Bad Empanada was saying in that video, and what he was saying in the video about Destiny and Lonerbox was pretty much a criticism of Destiny. So it wasn't so much as Hasan platforming Bad Empanada as it was Hasan platforming and shining a spotlight on the horrendous takes that Destiny and Lonerbox had on the genocide. Like, I didn't realize that Destiny and Lonerbox were as evil as they are before I saw the Bad Empanada videos about them, and Hasan reacting to them. Okay, so it's criticizing a content creator that's not you, Ethan. And Ethan, of course, is centering himself on this. Isn't it ironic that he complains about Destiny debating Nick Fuentes, but he'll talk to this dude, no problem. Cheers, bro. Okay, so the reason Hasan was criticizing Destiny debating Nick Fuentes is because Destiny revived Nick Fuentes' career. Bad Empanada's career is fine. He's getting hundreds of thousands of views on his videos. The other thing is, Destiny not only made Nick Fuentes look like a normal person, but he normalized the ideas that Nick Fuentes had. When you actually debate ideas, like when you're debating the idea that women shouldn't vote, that's normalizing that idea. Especially if you're doing it in like a way where you have a lot of camaraderie with the person you're talking with, and it's like, oh well, we do have a mutual understanding. We can come above the politics of it all, come together, have a civil conversation, still have mutual respect for each other, and debate the idea of disenfranchising an entire group of people. We can debate the idea of getting rid of a human right, or not a human right, but like a right as a citizen for half the population. That's what normalizing an idea is. Did Hasan bring up Bad Empanada and talk about like this tweet and debate this tweet, or like have bad Empanada talk about it. No, he didn't. He didn't consider the idea of we should enjoy videos of babies being killed. Okay.
Along with some other screenshots he posted from accounts that clearly aren't mine, of tweets that he, of course, did not confirm were real or not either. I guess he was too dumb to look at the handle and see that it was an impersonator. Nonetheless, I don't particularly care about those screenshots, but I do care about this one, given that this is Ethan Klein choosing to hop on to a Zionist organization's campaign to brand me as a sex criminal. Acknowledged under defamation precedents in most countries in the world, it's pretty much the worst accusation you can ever make against someone. Ethan Klein, a creator with millions of followers, apparently doesn't have any legal advice or something, and he thinks that just sharing screenshots that he has not verified at all of very easy to edit social media posts is a good idea. Well, it's not. This is a screenshot that is obviously crafted specifically to accuse me of pedophilia. 2 seconds of critical thinking, and you could look at it and think like, hey, why does this have so many likes? Why does it have like no replies? You would think that someone saying something like that would get like lots of outrage and not many likes, right? And why is it that there is not a single mention of my handle on Twitter from October 7th to October 9th, 2023? If there were 4 replies, like the screenshot shows, there should be 4 mentions. And it's also kind of impossible for me to have made it anyway, given that my account was suspended at the time and was not unsuspended until November 6, 2023, as this email clearly shows. So Ethan Klein, you have one very simple option here. You offer an unreserved apology on every account where you posted this. You deal with all of your fans on the social media platforms that I know that you control, such as your Reddit, who are presently not only posting this screenshot, but accusing me of having committed sex crimes, and you of course delete your own defamatory posts, or I will be forced to take every means necessary to retaliate against someone who is clearly not responsible enough to have such a big platform. So I suggest you...
Anyway, some gamer memes there. Semicolon and parentheses, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, what's the point of that? So Ethan Klein just made up... Ethan Klein is responsible for spreading fake news. I mean, what's new? Wow, who would have thought? Ethan Klein posting stuff that's fake, spreading fake news, taking people out of context. So what did he post? He posted this tweet, which we read, and obviously it's horrible. He also posted this: Zionists anywhere are combatants actively spreading propaganda to enable a genocide. Their words kill. They must be stopped. So this is a fake tweet saying that, like, making it seem like Bad Empanada was saying that Zionists anywhere are combatants, so we should kill people for their political beliefs. And yeah, like, that's pretty extreme, calling for violence. So yeah, these are fake. This tweet was apparently posted on October 8th, and that was when Bad Empanada's Twitter account was banned, according to him. And then this tweet's just fake. So yeah, Ethan's being fed fake tweets. And I mean, I love his reaction. This is a real tweet. Like, he literally says, this is a real tweet. Hilarious.
And Hasan's been a joint.
And just one more thing before we continue this video, but it is glaringly obvious right now that Ethan is being fed. He's being fed like a cow that's being fattened up and ready to slaughter. Just clips, posts, random stuff, all of this stuff to try to make Hasan look bad. And I mean, we know who's doing it. It's Destiny's community. And we're going, I mean, okay, let me see. Do I have a clip of this right now? I'm trying to look up a clip right now, actually, because I do think it's relevant. Oh my God, so much stuff. Okay, here we go. So this is a relevant tweet because we do have a targeted campaign against Hasan, against Twitch. And Ethan is obviously not masterminding it because as bad as Ethan is right now, and as far as he's fallen, I don't think he is willing to sacrifice his self-image enough to craft a fake tweet and then present it to his audience as a real tweet that Bad Empanada made. And because of this fake real tweet, and Hasan's been watching Bad Empanada's videos, then by extension Hasan is an evil guy that like enjoys the view of massacred Israeli babies. And so yeah, I think for me it's glaringly obvious that Ethan has been fed clips. We saw this with his Ukraine thing, where he came up with clips of Hasan being weird on Tibet and Ukraine and Taiwan. We saw this on that election stream where he's trying to find clips of Hasan saying you shouldn't vote for Kamala Harris, and he kept coming up with clip after clip, and they were all weird and out of context, and they weren't really relevant to his point. Like, he's getting fed these clips live by people in Destiny's community. We saw this when Ethan is talking about when he does that Twitch or terrorist game. That was created by someone in Destiny's community. He's finding unlisted clips from a guy from a channel called Hasanabi, who is a Destiny fan. He's getting all of these clips from Destiny, and they're basically using him as an amplifier for this hate campaign that they have against Twitch and Hasan. So let's just play this.
Fucking little weasel rat. I mean, it's okay because I'm doing the same thing. See, this is what you guys don't get. This is what you don't get. You don't play the game. You don't play it strong enough. You're over here like, Dan, do not bring up that he went to a brothel. Yes, it was raided, but in the end, they didn't find enough crimes to shut them down. He has no issues clip chipping me, okay? He's fine doing it. Why the fuck would I not do it in return, okay? He wants to, like, do out of context fucking clips at me. You know what? That's fucking 420 blaze it. Let's go. YOLO. Do it. Because you know what? There's not that many clips of me that you can take out of context. There's a few, but I got a lot that I can do for you. I'm winning this battle. So you know what? You got my approval. Let's do it. Out of context battle, fucking you go first. Right here, with this one right here. This fucking little weasel rat. I mean,
Okay, so I mean, just admitting to creating a clip farming campaign against Hasan. I mean, I've seen Hasan talk about this guy twice maybe. And I mean, it's funny. He's like, there's not that many clips of me taken out of context, which is, it's not exactly an admission, but it's kind of like he's admitting that, oh yeah, the clips that Hasan talked about me weren't out of context. That's actually an accurate representation of what I believe, which is it's just funny. Okay, let's get back to this Ethan Klein video. Anyway, so yeah, this guy has admitted in the past that I'm just doing this because I think it would be hilarious if we got the CEO of Twitch fired. We're doing this to try to, bring down Hasan, make him look bad. And Ethan's just eating this all up because Ethan is in this really dark headspace right now where he's just saying, Hasan bad, Hasan bad, Hasan bad, Hasan bad. Whenever he gets anything that even remotely relates to that, he'll be like, yes, chicken soup for my soul. Give it to me, give it to me. I'll put an IV in and get that directly inserted into my bloodstream. That's why in that really weird H3 episode, he's just like taking clip after clip.
His videos. Here's a tweet from him. You guys will enjoy this. It says, oh, Hamas raped a bunch of babies and kids now? Where's the video evidence of it? I was looking to jerk off anyway. You think I'm kidding? That's a real tweet. That's his son's guy right there, boy.
Dude, it's that much funnier that he's like, you think I'm joking? That's a real tweet. It's so funny. Like, I don't know, you can't make this stuff up. It's so good. Man, okay. I gotta find this. This is just Ethan using a clip of a like that Hasanabi or that Hamas Abi guy. Where is? Okay, I thought I had another relevant clip, but oh my god, I have so many Reddit tabs open right now. Oh yeah, this one.
By the unjust.
Now, Bad Empanada, I do not agree with a lot of the things that he says. As a matter of fact, I would say I agree with nothing that he says on Twitter. Okay. Bad Empanada also is not a fan of mine in many instances and has said that I am not sufficiently pro-Palestine and that I fucked up by going to the DNC or something like that. I don't know. He's a bit crazy. He's out there. But even though we might have our disagreements, okay, even though we have our disagreements, certainly, I've always maintained the position that his work on YouTube stands on its own. His YouTube essays are fantastic. His YouTube essays are awesome, and they're well sourced and well researched for the most part. Okay, listen. I've already let my opinion on Bad Empanada be known. He is the most unhinged tweeter, but also an entirely different person when he's doing these very well-sourced, very reasonable YouTube essay arguments. Okay?
Okay, so anyway, yeah, Hasan even acknowledges that on Twitter in weird spots, like Bad Empanada does have some weird stuff, but he talks about how as a YouTube essayist, he does have some good ideas, and he was reacting to, I mean, again, Hasan was reacting to the clips that a Bad Empanada was doing rather than what Bad Empanada was saying himself. I just want to bring this up.
Kamala, right?
Let's see.
In my opinion.
And then I think the tip of that spear at the end of it
So,
is...
I mean, we don't have to watch this whole thing, but this is just where Ethan was coming up with clip after clip after clip, and Ethan hadn't even seen them. He was just like finding these clips, and so the question then becomes, where was he finding them? And the answer is in Destiny's Discord. He's getting clips sent to him from people in Destiny's Discord that have a clip farming campaign against Hasan right now. So, like, Ethan is the amplifier for that. And honestly, Destiny couldn't ask for a better mouthpiece to head this campaign off than Ethan Klein, because Ethan does have credibility. I think he's tanking his credibility as fast as possible, but he did at least bring a veneer of credibility to the claims that Hasan was anti-Semitic.
Also to say, like, I am not going to vote for you unless you fix this. Before Israel-Palestine, before October 7, there were plenty of moments where I would tell my audience, and a lot of the initiatives that the Biden White House has taken on had made this administration probably one of the most pro-labor administrations in contemporary American history. Yes, if I'm young, I don't see anyone right now that is captivating me, that is like causing me to go and vote. I want to bring to listen when you have marginal victories.
Listen, it's not that bad, but it's definitely influencing.
So he's like, oh, it's not that bad, but it's influencing, right? So that's one clip of Hasan. What's this?
You couldn't find him voting for the president?
It's a 50-minute long, or an hour long.
Can you check the transcript?
Yeah, I can try.
You really want to get him on this one, don't you? You want to get him?
No, but this is important.
Sure, okay, you want to see with your own eyes. Then you fucking bubble the bubble.
He's right up to the fucking edge of the plank. Let's see him jump off.
It's not edited video, too. It's like a
Why
long
would they
strip.
cut?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
the
trying to
consequences of
find a
Trump's
clip himself. That's like one where Ethan's trying to find a clip himself.
What does that make Kamala's campaign for running such a dog shit campaign?
Yeah,
what does it make the
This one
matter who
is hilarious.
Electorate is voting uncommitted to like send a message essentially. But the uncommitted movement, is, from what I understand, did eventually say vote for Kamala. In fact, recently, like in the last week of the election.
This one's recent. Let's see what this one is with this fucking guy.
This meatball.
And all the efforts to reconcile with the Taliban.
Wait, I'm sorry. I have to respond to this. God, I wish I was rich and white. Then I don't have to worry about who wins either way. Yeah, but when you're poor and also a underserved minority, no matter who wins, it still fucks you over regardless. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah, okay. Like, if like, sure, let's say I'm an asshole for not caring enough about the consequences of Trump's presidency. What does that make Kamala's campaign for running such a dog shit campaign?
Yeah.
What does it make the people who have received hundreds of...
It doesn't really go anywhere.
I don't really understand what the about.
Oh, that's the best one. Anyway, so yeah, he comes up with clips of Hasan talking about the primaries. How, I'm not going to vote for Joe Biden in the primary. And then Ethan's like, see, he's not voting. Like, he hasn't seen any of these. He comes up with a clip of Hasan and talking about how like your life isn't going to change either way, and then he's like, that didn't really go anywhere. So it's so funny. And this was a really, I mean, I noted this when I was watching this one and made the video reacting to it, but it's like, where is he coming up with all of these clips? And I mean, as this drama's grown and grown, I've done more research into like where Ethan is actually coming up with all of these, and it's pretty glaringly obvious that it's Destiny that's doing it.
We love me some bad empanada.
This is a real tweet. It's so funny, dude. Also, I don't know. It's weird to me. I mean, I guess it's kind of funny. Like, why is Ethan showing his Instagram stories on his phone of Bad Empanada's tweets instead of just the tweets themselves? Like, I don't know. It's weird.
Boy, we love me some bad empanada. This is the guy he's been promoting. There's an active genocide going on, which is receiving crucial backing from the U.S. government, like President Joe Biden. If you are an American, these people are within your reach. Coincidentally, the U.S. is one of the easiest countries in the world to buy a gun. I'm starting to see why Hasan likes this guy. I mean, Hasan did.
Yeah, and Hasan even said, like, don't trust his tweets. Like, he's an unhinged tweeter. Just one more clip while we're on the topic of Ethan getting clips from Destiny's community.
Okay, here, I found it. Apologies, this is the Destiny subreddit, but it is what it is. This is the only place that showed this clip.
Yeah, so obviously, I mean, yeah, just pretty much undeniable, right? He's getting fed all of these clips from, I mean, he's not finding them. His staff isn't finding these clips. Like, they actually have jobs to do. So he's getting them from somewhere.
Tweet out the blueprint for the gun used to assassinate the former Japanese prime minister. In response to
it's not really so much I'm like an Israel guy. I just like really hate Arabs.
I guess I can see the overlap there. Zionists everywhere, anywhere, are combatants, actively spreading propaganda to enable a genocide. Their words kill, they must be stopped. So this guy thinks I'm like the epitome of a Zionist, and that Ela is like literally killing babies on her free time for fun. So when he says Zionists and everywhere are combatants, he's literally saying right here to kill Jewish people. Because let's be real, who's splitting the hairs on that one? Are we gonna have a Twitch censor being like, no bad empanada, don't kill Ethan. He doesn't fall under the term Zionist as a political movement. It's just a slur when you say it to him. He's saying kill Jews everywhere. Okay, I love that. Very cool.
What?
This one's really good.
What? Kill Jews everywhere? I don't know. I'm like zoning out.
No bad empanada, don't kill Ethan. He doesn't fall under the term Zionist as a political movement. It's just a slur when you say it to him. He's saying kill Jews everywhere. Okay, I love that. Very cool.
Okay, so he's just making that
This
up.
one's really good. Check this out. He says, just like Japan, a nuclear bomb is needed to stop Israel. Yeah, good idea. This one you guys are going to like. And I can really see why Hasan likes him when I read this. 9/11 was an attack on a legitimate military target. Those within the towers were the soldiers of Western financial imperialism. And it was there that bureaucrats schemed and carried out operations to indebt other countries to steal the resources and bring them into ruin. The murders of countless millions had been plotted and dictated from within.
Okay, to head this off, I'm not going to sit here and defend Bad Empanada's tweets. Ethan's trying to say that this guy's a bad guy, but again, the content that Hasan was reacting to, first of all, didn't have anything to do with Ethan. And second of all, was more, it was attacking Destiny and Lonerbox rather than, like an accepting video of these views that Bad Empanada was presenting on Twitter.
Those walls, yada yada. Its attack is just as valid as that one on the Pentagon, yada yada. But yeah, he says 9/11 was an attack on a legitimate military target. And I mean, Hasan is the we deserve 9/11 guy. So.
Oh yeah, dude. Okay, I mean, how long was it until we got to the point where Ethan is now saying, "Oh, Hasan said that America deserves 9/11." How long was it? How long did it take? Their last episode of Leftovers was like October 12th of last year, so it was what, 13 months? So we're 13 months. It took Ethan 13 months to say that Hasan should be criticized because he said America deserves 9/11. Amazing.
I get it. I see why he likes him. But the point is that even if Hasan somehow purges the word Zionist from his vocabulary, which I doubt, he's still promoting backdooring people like Bad Empanada, who are genuinely sick, fucked up dudes, man. Just look into this guy, dude. I'm telling you, just Google his name. It's unbelievable what's going on here. He said all Israelis are valid targets. Yeah. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg, if I'm being honest. But this one really, I mean, this is what he looks like. Charming guy. Oh, Hamas raped a bunch of babies and kids now? Where's the video evidence? I want to jerk off anyways. Very funny. Very funny stuff, guys. So, in short, I'm kind of curious of how they're going to enforce it. It might be interesting just to see, how they do it, because I think it's going to be a mess. I think it's going to be ineffectual, and I don't think it's even going to be enforced. So, maybe I'm wrong. But until then, don't you call me a Zionist on Twitch, you. I'll get you. Don't you be calling me a dirty Zionist pig dog. Inbred pig dog Zionist. You can say that, okay, because Hasan calls Jews inbred a lot. I don't know if you knew that. I've got a compilation going. You guys will see. I'm working on stuff all the time here, guys. In the basement, we're tinkering. Hey, Ducky. Look at him. So cute. This is Ethan Klein, guys. In the basement, giving you an I-do for today.
Oh, God.
You guys like this format? I'm going to try to do these more.
Oh, no. He said he's going to do them more. Okay, that's bad. Okay, so Ethan has Hasan saying that Hasan calls Jews pig dogs and inbred a lot. Okay, I mean, do you have a clip of it? I mean, he has one clip of it, right? Hasan platformed Bad Empanada. I mean, I already explained it, right? Bad Empanada was doing a video dressing down Destiny and Lonerbox. Hasan covered that. It had nothing to do with Ethan Klein. It had nothing to do with Bad Empanada's unhinged Twitter takes saying that the Twin Towers were... I mean, come on. If the video was Bad Empanada saying that the Twin Towers were valid military targets and Hasan was agreeing with it, that'd be one thing. If the video was saying that all Zionists deserve to be killed and Hasan is like, yeah, he's got some good points, that would be one thing. But those are tweets, and the video was very specifically about guys who were running defense for Israel's genocide. Funnily enough, no mention of that in anything from that Ethan Klein video. Also, he just didn't even really engage in the whole Twitch updated content moderation policies. The most he did was say, well, you can't call me a Zionist anymore. Okay, so, I mean, again, he's not even talking, he's unwilling to recognize he's unwilling to recognize criticism due to, the ideology and the politics versus criticism that is veiled anti-Semitism. And again, the one instance that we found in this entire video of Zionism being used as a veil for anti-Semitism was from Myron calling for the tearing down of that veil and calling for more blatant forward-facing anti-Semitism. So pretty hilarious. I wanted to talk about... Okay, so we covered this. Oh, yeah. I wanted to talk about this. Masked group marches through Ohio neighborhood with swastika flags. The police are investigating the incident. No arrests have been made. Let's see, is this a video? What the fuck is this? This is an ad? What? Okay, that was kind of horrible. What? Okay, how do I stop this?
Enjoy frightfully.
Okay, thank God. The governor of Ohio and city officials in Columbus are speaking out after a group of armed, masked individuals marched through the streets of Ohio, capital city, Saturday dressed in black and holding flags with swastikas on them. Is there any way to pause this? Okay, this video is just an indestructible, non-stop playing video. Oh my God. Okay, there we go. The unidentified people were spotted around 1 p.m. walking through the Short North neighborhood, according to Columbus ABC. Images and videos of the marchers went viral on social media sites. So this was posted November 17th. So I'm recording that. I'm recording on November 17th. And it's about people marching yesterday. Did we get any Ethan Klein videos about that? Did we get any, are we going to get any H3 production videos about this? Individuals in the group were detained, but no arrests were ultimately made, according to the Columbus Police Department. Police said officers had initially been advised of a possible physical altercation, but released the detained individuals after determining an assault did not take place. So they were detained, but released and not arrested. There is no place in the state for hate, bigotry, anti-Semitism, or violence, and we must denounce it wherever we see it, said the governor, Mike DeWine. What do we have, anyway? Columbus City Attorney Zach Klein echoed those sentiments in a statement posted on X. To those individuals in the neo-Nazi march in the Short North today, take your flags and the mask you hide behind and go home and never come back, he said. Your hate isn't welcome in our city. Last week, a group of masked demonstrators were seen waving Nazi flags outside a production of The Diary of Anne Frank in Howell, Michigan. The protesters were asked to move, and there were no arrests. And I think that Ethan actually did talk about the Nazis in front of the Anne Frank play. But what is more real? Hasan having in the background a clip of a single frame of the Houthi flag. Can we see it? I already played it. That or actual Nazis marching. And if we take a look at, Ethan's content, we're just, I don't think that Ethan is doing a good job of proportionately covering the actual harm that Jewish people are experiencing. Like Nazi rallies marching in the street. What is this? Like targeting Hasan. He targeted Hasan in the post-election about him not voting for Kamala Harris. Targeted Dan Clancy for, I don't even fucking know, for not having Israel be able to sign up for Twitch. Addressing Hasan and his community. If we go back to his channel, Twitch's Zionist is now a slur. Like, why are you covering this, right? Hasan is a weaselly little liar. I won't let Hasan Piker lie to me about his audience. Twitch has a major problem, so. Man, I don't know. It's gotten to the point where I think it is pretty clear that Ethan Klein has a hate boner for Hasan, and that's what he's doing. He is not interested in covering anti-Semitism. He is interested in getting a reaction out of Hasan and a punishment given to Hasan. Now, why do I say that? Well, I've made the case before that he's not covering like the reality of anti-Semitism in America properly. He's ignoring the increase in like Nazi rallies and stuff like that. And he will cite hate crime statistics. Jewish people are the most hate crimed by, or per capita. That's what I'll say. But then what are his examples of it? I'm getting Free Palestine written on my posts. I'm getting people saying, can we move on, when I keep talking about how there's like pogroms happening in Amsterdam against the Israeli hooligans. So he's focusing on like some very specific things, and really specifically Hasan. And I think the biggest piece of evidence for saying that Ethan cares less about fighting anti-Semitism than he does about seeing Hasan get punished is the whole reintroduction of the Ukraine topic into Hasan. He brought on his Ukrainian employee a few times. Both of the times were specifically to target Hasan and trash him. So why would Ethan Klein really bring this up if he's not just having a hate boner against Hasan? And he said, like, oh yeah, that reminded me of some of the other weird things that Hasan was saying. So that's why I brought my Ukrainian employee back on. But yeah, even when Galia was calling in, she was calling in to criticize Hasan. So this is pretty ridiculous. Let's just get into the fallout of this, because I think that this is relevant.
People say, Hasan, you're my personally.
I want to talk about
took credit
Asmund
for it.
Gold a little bit.
I want to say, like, obviously, to all the streamers that are looking at me and blaming me, I want to say you're welcome. I know your viewers have been complaining a lot about the amount of ads you've been running, and I wanted to help your viewers out. I'm trying to help them. And so, like, I mean, let's be real. You're gonna go down to making 100K and not 200K a year? Too bad.
All right, so Asmund Gold taking credit for kind of taking the criticisms from Twitch or of Twitch and amplifying them even more. I don't know what his deal is. Maybe I'll get into him a little bit. I want to target, or I want to cover this video from Ludwig.
And thankful to the boys at FaZe for leaking their.
And what's interesting about this is there are some comments saying that he edited his video, and it's really dumb. This drama is killing me. It's so dumb.
We know how much money you can make from ads alone. Now, I'm not sure it's possible that Ron might have photoshopped this image a bit, little inspect element, but if we take it at face value, he says he earned $1.2 million during his subathon, and he only had 63,000 subscribers. Now, I say only, because if you do the math, that 63,000 subscribers is $220,000, which means he made an extra million. That's not from bits. That would mostly be from ads. And what makes this even more realistic and more impressive in my mind, Jason was the biggest in the FaZe group for their subathon. In terms of subs, he had the most subscribers. You can see 100,000 right here. And he made $500,000 total. It's a lot of money. Now, the light pink is the amount of money he made from ads. And you can see his ad density went down, all right? He didn't make as much from ads. As opposed to somebody like Lacey, that's a lot of light pink. Now, ignore this number. I know as a fact, he inspect elemented this. This is a fake number. This number is real. So he made $70,000 less than Jason while having less than half as many subs, less average viewers. How? Because his ad density was so high. He's running an ad density equivalent to TV shows, okay? And he is able to make just from that hundreds of thousands of dollars in ads. I would not be surprised if Kai made as much, if not more money from his subathon in advertising than he did from all of the hundreds of thousands of subs he has. This is all kind of gone now. The advertisers are pulling out. It is true. And streamers are making a lot less money this month. Okay, how do we know this? Well, Twitch streamers are talking about it. Here is Quinn.
What the hell? So you're getting, wait. Oh, bro, you're just getting no ad money at all.
All right, here's Moon Moon also talking about it.
I saw, like,
trying to get a wide array of streamers.
Apocalypse, blah, 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 blah. Out of curiosity, I want to check my revenue. In the last 2 days I've streamed, I received $0 on ads.
And then finally, here's Stock Guy actually showing his analytics. You can see how much money he is making from ads and how far it has dropped. For some people, it's half. For some people, they're making 10, 20% of what they used to make. And the way ads worked on Twitch for a long time was a very simple calculation. What is your viewership? Okay, what is your ad density? How many ads are you running an hour? And where are your viewers from? Because advertisers view viewers differently depending on their location. That is it. That is the only factors that went in. And then however much money Twitch made from advertising, they would pay you out like a percentage portion, all right? You know, something like 30, 40, 50, some percent based off your deal of how much money they made from the advertisers. The issue is that only works if they have advertisers. And a lot of advertisers have pulled out, okay? They have pulled out and it has hit Twitch hard. All right, and I'll talk in a minute what my prediction is for what will happen to that advertising money. But first, we have to talk about why they pulled out. Where did the advertisers go? Do they hate Twitch all of a sudden? Well, the genesis of this, as far as I can tell, is when Asmund got banned off of Twitch. Because you see, Asman got banned after making some comments about Palestinian people, some very negative comments about Palestinian people. He got banned off of Twitch.
Anyway, so I just wanted to play that because Ludwig did a pretty good job of compiling clips of people saying that they were getting affected by the lack of advertisers. So yeah, what is the deal with advertisers living? Well, I mean, we have a lot of pressure from people. We have Destiny and Dan Saltman, Destiny's little butt buddy, doing this whole mass targeting of advertisers, directly emailing the advertisers that do advertise on Twitch, telling them to pull out because of anti-Semitism. We have this, the ADL weighing in on this. So this was after the Twitch content moderation update. In the time of dangerously escalating anti-Semitism, we commend at Twitch for changing their policy regarding the use of Zionist as a slur and proxy for hate against Jews. Proxy for hate against Jews. I mean, even the way the ADL is describing the use of Zionist as a slur reveals how removed from a slur against Jews as it is. They're like, it's Zionist is a proxy for hate against Jews. I mean, yeah, kind of showing their ass there. We are glad Twitch acted on our recommendation to make this change. However, policy is only as strong as enforcement, and we will be vigilant and appropriately skeptical about Twitch's enforcement of this new policy. So this is exactly what Ethan Klein is talking about, right? The ADL says it's an anti-defamation league, but really it's a pro-Zionist league. When one of the largest streamers on Twitch, Hasan spends the hours after the Amsterdam pogrom minimizing its harm without consequence, it's clear the platform still has far to go. So, again, this has nothing to do with Zionism. And conflating Zionism to anything to do with the Jews is exactly what Twitch says is banned, right? Twitch is saying you can talk about Zionism in terms of its political ideology, but if you're using it as a dog whistle for Jews, that's not allowed. And what does the ADL do? It says that, oh, well, you made an update referring to Zionism, but Hasan still did something that minimized the importance of attacks against people that were Jewish. Thus, you still have a lot of ways to go. So ADL is conflating Zionism with Judaism in this very tweet that is dealing with the Twitch content moderation, specifically talking about Zionism. So again, they're just tying themselves into knots. The ADL are crazy, dude. What is this? Oh yeah, this is the clip that I played at the beginning. I kind of want to go back and react to it.
Tone's fault. It's, let's see, who else are we thinking? Probably, like 1%, maybe Quinn's fault. Like it's all of our faults. Like that's really the truth. Like, I mean, nobody went and made Frogan do like a tier list or a racial tier list. Nobody like, I didn't make her do that. I mean, I find it to be kind of flattering, right? That like now, it's like my fault that all this is happening. But everybody knows, like, there's been a million bad things that have happened on Twitch, things people didn't get banned for, etc. That group, like, I don't want to, like, say it's like a group of people, but it kind of is, of, like, Hasan, like, Central Committee, Denims, Frogan, all of those people. They've kind of defended a number of things that are extremely alienating for a lot of people. And I think that they've also defended a number of double standards and preferential treatment. Like, for example, like not getting banned for calling people crackers, or like the death threat thing only being like a 2 or 3 day ban. And the problem is that they haven't really held Twitch.
Okay, so I mean, it's funny, right? He's saying, oh, people aren't getting banned for doing this. They're only getting a 2 or 3 day ban. Oh, so they are getting banned then. Frogan did get banned for that. Like everyone involved in that tier list, which wasn't even racist, did get banned. Asmund Gold saying that people are getting preferential treatment for saying the word cracker is hilarious. Does he actually think cracker is a racial slur? Yeah. I mean, this is what these fucking brain dead guys like Asmongold and like Ethan don't understand. Referring to, slurs, referring to different groups of people is not the same. And it kind of gets into that equity versus equality conversation, right? White people have a lot of power in the West, in the United States, in the UK, in Europe. They have a lot of power. They control all of these systems. Referring to them as a slur, which has no historical usage of putting them down, that's not a harmful word. Cracker is not a harmful word to white people. If you refer to minority groups as slurs, and the minority groups do have a history of being oppressed, and that word is like a symbol of their oppression, you can understand why people would be more upset about that slur. Like, it's not an extremely complicated thing, and people like Asmongold want to flatten it all out. They want to be like, well, if you can't refer to white people, or if you can't refer to black people as the N word, then why can you refer to white people as the C word, the Ritz word? And it's kind of the same with Ethan, right? Oh, you're fighting against Islamophobia, but you also don't understand the way that Israelis feel. And it's like, okay, Ethan, I know that you're in a bad mental space, right? Like, it gets back to that whole clip that Ethan was mad at, where Hasan said, anti-Semitism is unacceptable, Islamophobia is acceptable. And he's talking about in America. And that's undeniably true. And Ethan gets all pissy about it. Why are you saying that my feelings aren't as valid as Frogan's? And it's like, okay, your feelings are valid. You do have valid feelings. However, you do need to take a look at the whole context where, yeah, anti-Semitism is on the rise, but it's not as institutional as Islamophobia is. And in fact, the institutions in America are fighting against anti-Semitism. And where are we seeing the rise of anti-Semitism? Well, it's in the far-right extremist conservative movement, whose main stated goal is to break down institutions. So, again, anti-Semitism is coming from a place of anti-institutionalism. Like, it's kind of undeniable. And so, yeah, it's... I really think it's like a very poor understanding of political situations when you insist on flattening everything down and it's all on the same level. White people cannot be criticized because black people cannot be criticized. And we can't have any understanding of history and power dynamics to inform the way we talk about these different groups of people.
Accountable for people that they agree with. And I think what's happened is that other people see that there's that lack of accountability. And it's not really hard to perceive somebody that puts out a death threat or says something like this. It's not that hard to see that a person like that is going to very clearly, they should get in trouble. And so when you play defense for things that you shouldn't play defense for, you should expect that people are also going to play offense for things that they shouldn't play offense for, because you're defending something that's unreasonable. And I think that the current ad situation on Twitch is a result of a lot of hand waving, a lot of intellectual dishonesty that I think people have just become tired of. And now you see people bringing it up all the time because there's nothing else that they can do. They've tried to complain to Twitch. Twitch doesn't listen, and people think it's unfair. So I don't.
I mean, this is so dumb. Frogan did get banned for that racial tier list, racial tier list. It wasn't racial tier list. Hasan did get banned for saying cracker. This is, man, there's so many parallels between this and the election that we just experienced in America, where people were simply making up things that Kamala Harris was doing. People were saying Kamala Harris is too woke. Why is she saying that trans people need to be the most important issue in America? Why is Kamala Harris making it a big deal that she's a woman and that she's black? Kamala Harris wasn't doing any of these things. People just have this idea in their minds and then they stick to it. They get these clips played to them and they think that that's the reality of the situation when it couldn't be further from the truth. And so when Asmongold, who I think objectively is a very stupid person, says that Twitch isn't enforcing their policies correctly, and that's why advertisers are leaving, he is just, I mean, that's just garbage, right? That could be, I mean, that's like a rotten salad from yesterday. Those are the words that are coming out of his mouth. Why is that the case? Well, I mean, Twitch was enforcing their policies. They banned Frogan for doing her tier list for Sabra Hummus. They banned Hasan for saying cracker. They banned Asmongold for being anti-Palestinian. They updated their moderation policy in response to criticism. I mean, that moderation policy update is stupid. It doesn't do anything. But they did respond to criticism. And so when Asmongold's saying that advertisers are pulling out because Twitch isn't it's not enforcing its policies equally, that's the exact same thing as saying that I'm not going to vote for Kamala Harris because she's being too progressive, she's being too liberal, and saying that like she's putting the fact that she's a woman too front and forward. It's ridiculous, it's uninformed, and it stems from adopting a narrative without actually educating yourself on the facts. So why are advertisers leaving? It's obviously not because Twitch isn't enforcing their policies evenly. They're not being even-handed in their enforcement policies. They're leaving because guys like Destiny, guys like Asmongold, guys like Ethan Klein are causing a cascade of harassment towards these advertisers. There's a lot of attention on the fact that like these people did say things, and the attention is making the advertisers pull out. It doesn't matter if the advertisers are like, well, I mean, this is unfounded because these creators did get banned, they did get punished for this, so why would I not advertise? It doesn't matter. They're getting negative publicity. It doesn't matter. So yeah, Asmongold's wrong about this. They're not pulling out because Twitch isn't being even in its enforcement policies. That's one of the stupidest things you could say.
I really think it's my fault specifically. I do.
Also, it's rich that Asmongold is talking about how Hasan's group is getting preferential treatment over other people. Asmongold said that the Palestinians were in an inferior culture, and he got a week ban? Like, he's back on Twitch.
Think that some of the adpocalypse stuff is my fault, and you're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. That's what happened. Too bad. And it's Twitch's fault, period. Yeah, it would have never escalated like this if people had held each other accountable and not tried to come up with a...
It's so dumb. It has nothing to do with accountability. It has nothing to do with an even application of the enforcement policies. It has everything to do with the harassment campaign that Destiny, Dan Saltman, Ethan Klein are doing against these Twitch moderators. You even have Richie Torres, who is a puppet for the APAC, sending a letter to Twitch. That got a lot of people's attention. Richie Torres is a congressperson in the United States House of Representatives.
Excuses for bad behavior. But what's happened instead is that people have tried really hard on Twitch to come up with reasons why being racist or being wrong or saying bad stuff like this is acceptable. It's not acceptable. It never was acceptable. And I think everybody can see the double standard. And
what is he talking about? People are coming up with reasons why being racist is acceptable? What the actual... Bro, I agree with Hasan. At the end of the day, every single person is a lib. Asmongold, who's like, yeah, I said Palestinians are an inferior culture, but Frogan, who did a tier list that had, I mean, it really had nothing to do with like the Jew to Arab tier list, but people said it did. Frogan didn't get she got preferential treatment because I was banned for a week. She was banned for 6 weeks for doing something like way less bad than what I did. And he's like, but we need to hold people accountable for their racism.
The difference with that is that, and I want to tell you guys, like, this is something that I also practice. Like, I said something stupid about, like, the whole Palestine thing. Remember that? Like, that was not a good day. And I got suspended for 2 weeks because of that.
2 weeks.
Not once have I said publicly that I didn't deserve that. I completely took accountability for that. I said, I fucked up. I should have said it in a different way. What I said could have easily been interpreted in the wrong way. I made a mistake. And so the issue is that people are not taking accountability for the bad things that they're doing. And
okay, so Asmongold said Palestinians were an inferior people. Frogan said that American soldiers deserve PTSD. He was banned for 2 weeks. Frogan was banned for 30 days. So, I mean, over twice as long as Asmongold.
they're trying to pretend like they're not bad.
And he's trying to play the guy who's like, I've reformed, I've changed. Frogan, on the other hand, has a lot of work to do. She needs to grow a lot.
That's the reason why this is happening. That's why people are pushing the advertisers so hard, is because these people refuse to...
Okay, so he's admitting that it's not that Twitch doesn't have an even-keeled policy. He's admitting that it's a harassment campaign against advertisers. Like, he even said, that's why people are pushing the advertisers so hard. But that's obviously not true, right? If they were trying to push for, like if they actually wanted Twitch to apply their moderation policies evenly throughout all content creators, they would be pushing for Asmongold to be banned. But instead, they're pushing for Hasan to be banned. I mean, yeah, Asmongold said way worse shit than Hasan. And if we're comparing his ban to Frogan's ban, why does Frogan get a 30-day ban when Asmongold gets a 14-day ban?
To self-regulate. They refuse to do it. They need to stop playing defense for each other when one person does something that's clearly indefensible. And if you do something that should get you banned, you can't...
Bro, what the fuck is he... what the actual fuck is he talking about? Frogan... Okay, Frogan criticizing... veterans, like American veterans, and saying they deserve PTSD. Hasan never defended her, and she got a 30-day ban because of it. What is he like? Does he have an example?
You can't just keep defending people or expecting other people to defend you because you align with them politically or socially or you're friends with them. That's why the ad situation has happened. And I want to say, this is what I think really happened, is that I got suspended and everybody said, good. Good. He got suspended. He broke the rules. He got in trouble. That's what happens. You break the rules, you get in trouble. Here's the problem, is that after I got in trouble, it provided a massive contextualization of all of the other people who didn't get in trouble. So
I mean, that's not
is
what
it
happened
really
at all.
my...
That's straight up not what happened at all. I mean, people have just been... Ethan attacked Hasan. It had nothing to do with Asmongold. Destiny's been hating on Hasan for years now. I know Asmongold is a dumbass and he wants to like center himself in this thing. And people, I guess, are... I mean, people are giving Asmongold attention because Asmongold has taken credit for it. But... I don't know. Nothing he's saying is right. Hasan should talk LMFAO. I can't wait until he's yeeted from all platforms. All these streamers do is watch other streamers and talk shit about them to their chat and make millions doing it. Doing it is insane. Asmon is correct based. Asmon said he would focus on more positive content in gaming. He came back with some hateful shit. Okay, interesting. So some mixed replies here. Hasan is correct that Asmongold was the tipping point for the Twitch apocalypse, but Asmongold is not the villain. He has some shit takes sometimes, but call a duck a duck. Hasan and his shit orbiters are far more cancerous than Asmongold. Dude literally had a terrorist on his fucking stream and showed terrorist recruitment videos constantly and got in zero trouble. Dude threatened senators, showed schematics on how to 3D print a gun. Oh my god, these are, this is a deep cut. And nothing, not a damn thing has been done to him. Fuck Twitch, it's just desserts at this point. Okay. That guy has some deep lore knowledge. Anyway, hilarious stuff. Bad Empanada. Okay, let's just go through some of these videos.
On to the narrative that we're trying to build up, which is that like Hasan is this anti-Semitic linchpin that is responsible for all these ads that have been taken away from Twitch's content creators, which seemingly hasn't really happened either, with some notable exceptions. But also simultaneously, everybody hates him for this thing that may or may not even be happening. Because I saw Misgiv talk about how like his ad revenues have not gone down either in this process, and so has Pirate Software and many other people. But it's like, it's so fucking nuts.
So yeah, it's worth noting that there is no actual like official stance on the advertisers leaving Twitch. There have been some Twitch streamers that have reported a loss in advertising revenue, but there have also been other Twitch streamers that have reported that everything's fine and there is no loss. So is it possible that Twitch changed some things and some people are being like demonetized in terms of their advertisement? Yes. Is it possible that some people are lying and just getting in on this like Twitch adpocalypse storm that's hitting the internet and trying to like farm views off of that? Sure. Twitch hasn't come out. Advertisers haven't come out and said that they're dropping from Twitch. So there is no real evidence right now. All we have are anecdotes, and again, like one anecdote can disprove the other anecdote. Maybe both of them are true, and the advertising environment has shifted, but it's not like as dire as some people are talking about. But I think what's undeniably true is that there isn't a mass exodus of ads from Twitch, because we are still seeing streamers say that, yeah, my ad revenue hasn't been changed.
Buddy, dude. I will be voting for Streamer Awards later, yes.
Voters didn't just want Harris to...
Anyway, so that was that video. Okay. Just some more Destiny stuff.
We are so back. What up, nigga? No! What's up? What up, nigga? No! Dude, I don't get it. This guy's the Democratic Party's Joe Rogan, guys. What are you talking about?
What's up? What up, nigga?
No! For a minute, I thought this was AI. No, this is like, I've been kind of offline the past couple of days, and I think...
Okay, whatever. Just Destiny being horrible. I don't think we need to really watch that. ADL. Okay. So let's start wrapping this video up. And I wanted to wrap this video up just talking about, I want to end it talking about Zionism. So what is Zionism? Well, I think we've touched on it before, but a main tenet of Zionism is that it is a Jewish ethno-state in the Jewish homeland, wherever that may be. And there were different ideas for where Israel was. Notably, I believe they wanted to settle in Alaska at some point. Yeah, they wanted to settle in Alaska. They decided on Israel. And I do think that it is a valid target. Okay, all right. Okay, but fuck. All right, before we get into Zionism, I do just have a few clips to play. So this is interesting. So for the people who think Ethan and Hila are being annoying about defending their identity, they show a clip of the Nazi rally that we talked about. And can we please get Ethan talking about this? Like, we'll see if he does on the Monday show. Ethan is in crazy masked men wave Nazi flags outside the Diary of Anne Frank performance. So yeah, that was a few days ago. And then in the same town they had like another Nazi rally later. So this is the guy that Bad Empanada did a video about that Hasan was reacting to, and now we have people in Ethan's audience like defending this guy, and this guy's been a little bit unhinged. Yeah. So he's just attacking Hasan right now, and we're getting people in Destiny's community supporting him. We're getting people in Ethan's community supporting him. Okay. Anyway, let's just take a look at like Zionism. So we can take a look at anti-Zionism. So anti-Zionism is opposition to Zionism. Although anti-Zionism is a heterogeneous phenomenon, all its proponents agree that the creation of the modern state of Israel and the movement to create a sovereign Jewish state in the region of Palestine, a region partly coinciding with the biblical land of Israel, was flawed or unjust in some way. Until World War II, anti-Zionism was widespread among Jews for varying reasons. Orthodox Jews opposed Zionism on religious grounds as preempting the Messiah, basically saying you shouldn't try to create, you shouldn't try to fulfill a prophecy. You should like let it happen naturally. While many secular Jewish anti-Zionists identified more with the ideals of the Enlightenment and saw Zionism as a reactionary ideology. And that's true. It inherently is a reactionary ideology because you are creating an ethno-state. And when you create an ethno-state, that's a very conservative idea. It's the belief that people have rights that are depending on how, like, what group of people you're born into. It's definitively like it's an anti-enlightenment ideals of equality. So yeah, it's like a rejection of the belief that everyone is equal. Essentially, you are building a state based off of someone's ethnicity, and yeah, you have rights inferred upon you based off of the ethnicity that you have. And we can see that the main opposition to the idea of Zionism before World War II was by Jewish people, and of course it was. Zionism is an idea that's affecting Jewish people, and so it would be the Jewish people that are deliberating whether like they believe in it or not. So opposition to Zionism in the Jewish diaspora was surmounted only from the 1930s onward, as conditions for Jews deteriorated radically in Europe, and with the Second World War, the sheer scale of the Holocaust was felt. Thereafter, Jewish anti-Zionist groups generally either disintegrated or transformed into pro-Zionist organizations, though many small groups and bodies like the American Council for Judaism conserved an earlier Reformed tradition of rejection of Zionism. Non-Jewish anti-Zionism likely spanned communal and religious groups, with the Arab populace of Palestine largely opposed to what they considered the colonial dispossession of their homeland. Opposition to Zionism was and continues to be widespread in the Arab world, especially among Palestinians. Many anti-Zionists seek to replace Israel and its occupied territories with a single state that would give Jews and Palestinians equal rights. And this is the thing that Ethan needs to read. He needs to look up simply the Wikipedia article for anti-Zionism, read the third paragraph and just the first sentence of it. People do not want a mass exodus of Jews from Israel. They do not want all of the Jewish people in Israel to die. What they simply want is an abolition of an ethno-state. The creation of a single state that gives equal rights to everyone in its borders. Not special rights if you're Jewish. Not saying that if you're Jewish, you have a right to come there, settle there, and get land. That doesn't make sense. You do not have a right to ever, like, get land in a country. Should you get housing? Yes. Do you have a right to housing? I think that people should have a right to housing. Do you have a right to healthcare? I think you should have a right to healthcare. If you're a citizen, I think you even should have a right to, like, a basic income that the government provides you so that you can provide for yourself. Do you have a right to own land in a place because of your ethnicity? I don't think so. And that is the mindset. That's the ideology that creates these settlers that think that it's their God-given right to take over Palestinians' houses. You take over their houses, you move in there, and that is your right that you are fulfilling. Anti-Zionists have argued that a binational state would still realize Jewish self-determination, as self-determination need not imply a separate state. Some supporters of Zionism highlight that anti-Semites hold anti-Zionist views. I mean, anti-Semites also hold Zionist views. It turns out anti-Semites are not a monolith, right? The relationship between Zionism, anti-Zionism, and anti-Semitism is debated, with some academics and organizations that study anti-Semitism taking the view that anti-Zionism is inherently anti-Semitic or new anti-Semitism, while others reject any such linkage as unfounded and a form of weaponization of anti-Semitism in order to stifle criticisms of Israel and its policies, including its occupation of the West Bank and blockade of the Gaza Strip. So, I really think that Ethan could do the bare minimum, and he could he could just simply read the article of anti-Zionism on the Wikipedia page, and that would clear up a lot of misconceptions that he has. And I want to play this clip from the Majority Report that is relevant to what we're talking about.
Hi, is this me?
This is you.
Oh, hi. My name is Joe. I'm from New Jersey. First time, long time.
Joe from New Jersey. Where in New Jersey, if you don't mind me asking?
So originally I'm from Jackson, but I've since relocated to Florence, right by Philadelphia.
Gotcha. So you're South Jersey. It's basically like a foreign country to me, so I don't have anything to add there. What's on your mind?
As was that North Jersey to us. No, and actually it's funny because, coming from that part of New Jersey, it was a pretty red part of New Jersey, and I did go to high school with, like, skinheads. Like, that's not an understatement. They, realizing being older now how much casual racism was thrown around. So when this whole the Haitian immigrants issue came up, this is 20 plus years ago. I was hearing the same thing. I grew up next to a very large Latino and a lot of migrants in the town next to us. They were saying the same thing. They were going to the parks. They're putting geese in, like, pillowcases and, like, taking them home with them and that. So, like, I've been hearing this kind of stuff for 20 plus years. Right. So when the whole, like, Haitian migrant thing came up, I was like, I've heard this. I've heard this so many times before. I'm just trying to raise alarm bells to other people, and, like, no one listened to me. So when this whole, it came from Blood Tribe, this neo-Nazi organization. Like, this is the same song and dance I've been hearing for 20 plus years. Like, this is not new. They've been doing this for a long time. It's been frightening to know that, the songbook hasn't changed, but nothing really matters, it feels. But I guess one of the big reasons why I was calling was, one, this is something I've heard from a long time, and two, unfortunately, this town that I lived in, the town next to it is now known for the biggest concentration of Orthodox Jews in the country. It is the second biggest concentration of Jewish populations next to Israel itself. And just the utter madness and racism that comes from, the people I know who still live there. I no longer live there. I was married. I've moved, but it's still like, to hear like, we're going to give these people what they want in terms of Israel. We're going to be their staunch allies. But in reality, hearing what they say about like these Jewish people and just the utter disgusting racism,
the Orthodox community saying about other Jews.
No, the people I grew up with, people like
white
my
people.
Own family, people,
right?
Yes, white people. What the two-faced nature of listening to people I used to go to high school with, and I'm at the point where I'm just no longer going to talk to these individuals, and having them tell me all this stuff like, oh, I'm selling my house because the Jews are moving in, and like,
Jesus.
and just all sorts of unbelievable racism. Like, oh, but the Israels have a right to defend themselves. It's just
but your point is that they're extremely racist to their neighbors who are Jewish, but are also very pro-Israel.
Oh, extremely pro-Israel. Right. Extremely pro-Israel. And just the cognitive dissonance just does not reach these individuals. And it's frustrating. And I'm at the point where I am, severing ties with people I've known for 20, almost 30 years because, like, I can't reach these people. And, unfortunately, with a Trump presidency, it's just getting more and more extreme. And, like, I'm just having to remove myself from situations I wish I didn't have to.
Well, it's. I mean, can I ask, are you Italian American or Irish American?
I am Irish.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can say from my experience in North Jersey, like it's more Italian American maybe up here, and maybe a little whiter down south, just anecdotally. But there's a lot of Trump support from Italian American New Jersey voters, and I've also like Irish American, like it's the Reagan coalition a little bit reinvigorated by Donald Trump, and we saw that in the way that New Jersey went more red than it has, as did New York. All these blue states moved in the direction of Donald Trump, and and you even saw it, and this is New York City, but in AOC's district too, where there's a lot of a large Latino population, and we know that's where Trump made his biggest gains, particularly with Latino men. And so this is the problem with maintenance liberalism, right? And I've been open where I don't think that the left should be discounting the misogyny and racism that went into people voting for Trump with Kamala Harris on the ticket. I think it's really important that we include that in our analysis. But the overall problem with the Democratic Party of offering maintenance and wonkiness versus and frankly, I think Biden left a leadership vacuum by being so invisible for the back half of his first term. Like, people forget.
Anyway, so what is the point of playing this clip? I wanted to play the clip because the caller made the point that there is virulent anti-Semitism in the community that he lives in. There's people saying they want to move because there's Jews living in the next town. My neighbors are Jewish, so I'm going to leave. I'm sure there's a lot of other conspiracies talking about how, like, the Jews control the media and all of that stuff. But these extremely anti-Semitic conservative neighbors that this caller has will fight tooth and nail in saying that Israel has a right to defend themselves. So they are anti-Semitic Zionists. Okay, so I just wanted to explain this fact. And this is the biggest issue with what Ethan Klein is doing, with what Dan Saltman and Destiny are doing, with what Richie Torres is doing, with what the ADL does, where they will take college students calling for the end of apartheid in Israel, calling for the end of the genocide in Israel. They'll take voices like Rashida Tlaib and say that she criticized a lawyer for being Jewish. They'll take Hasan and say that he brought a Yemeni teenager on his stream, thus he is enacting like pogroms against Jewish people. And essentially, they will take criticisms of Israel, criticisms of the atrocities Israel has committed, and say that it's anti-Semitic. And that conflation between pro-Palestinian, critical of Israel voices, to people saying that I'm going to move because Jews are living near me. I'm not going to sell my house to Jews. Nazis marching in favor of the Great Replacement theory, saying that Jews are bringing in immigrants to replace white people. That is the biggest issue to me. There is a difference in the effect that calling for like an end to Israeli apartheid has on Jewish people, compared to the effect that not selling a house to someone because they're Jewish has. Relegating all of the Jewish people to one neighborhood or moving out because Jewish people moved there. Marching, doing Nazi marches. And what I really don't like is that this is going to get worse in the future. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., someone in Donald Trump's cabinet, said anti-Jewish conspiracy theories about COVID-19. He said that COVID is targeted to attack Caucasians and black people. The people who are most immune are Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese. He's implying that it's a genetically engineered virus to avoid Chinese people and Jewish people. Elon Musk, a proponent of the Great Replacement theory, saying that Jewish people are bringing in immigrants to replace white people. Donald Trump emboldening these conservative far-right groups like the Proud Boys, bringing them to prominence in terms of January 6th. Just a history of not criticizing any kind of white nationalist movement because he knows that those are his supporters. You have guys like Mike Huckabee who wholeheartedly believe that Israel needs to inhabit the West Bank, it needs to inhabit Gaza, it needs to inhabit southern Lebanon in order to bring about the end times. And what happens in the end times? All of the Jews go to hell. This is a series of pro-Zionist, anti-Semitic people. And it's just going to get worse. We're going to get more Nazi rallies. We're going to get more hate crimes. And guess what? It's not going to be coming from the left. All that Hasan has pushed for this entire time is to bring an end to the genocide, an end to the apartheid state that Israel is. All that the Majority Report has pushed for has been that. All that Kyle Kalinske has pushed for has been that. All that these college protesters that are getting doxxed and their lives are getting ruined because the ADL is posting like their name, their numbers, saying that companies shouldn't hire them because they're anti-Semitic. That's all they've been pushing for. And if Ethan Klein is wondering, what does Zionism mean? I'm not a Zionist, am I? What he should do is look up the definition of it. Ethan Klein resides in ignorance, and he uses it as a blanket to cover himself in and ignore all of the criticisms that is coming his way. You're saying I'm a Zionist, right? So you want to kill me. I'm not a Zionist. All I believe is that 8 million Jews shouldn't leave Israel. Just look up what Zionism means. Look up what anti-Zionism means. Talk to some experts, and you will come to the understanding that when people criticize Israel, when people criticize Zionism, all they are criticizing is the unequal treatment of Palestinians, of non-Jewish people that are living in Israel. They are criticizing the apartheid state. They are criticizing the genocide, the colonial efforts that the United States, the UK, and now Israel is doing in the area. And they simply want free rights or equal rights for everyone that is in that land living under Israeli occupation. Equal rights for everyone. They're not advocating for millions of Jews to leave. They're not advocating for the death of all Jews. They just want equal rights. And that's where I'm going to end this video for today. It was a bit of a hectic one. A lot of other stuff about this whole Twitch adpocalypse fiasco. But yeah, I might have more to cover. I wanted to do a fun episode for Monday, but over the weekend things blew up, and I know that I had to cover it because people do rely on this channel to kind of get their information for what's happening on the H3 podcast with Hasan, with Twitch, and I think it is relevant. As I said, there's going to be a lot more anti-Semitism with the advent of this second Trump presidency, and I I mean, it's going to get much worse, and I just hope that we can try to get the record as straight as possible. I do not want people to be criticizing Hasan for being anti-Semitic when you have Nazi marches every weekend. There is a difference between Hasan saying a Israeli spokesperson is a bloodthirsty pig dog and a group of white nationalists marching down Nashville, Tennessee's main street shouting, "Jews will not replace us." When you have Elon Musk, who's like worm tongue whispering into Donald Trump's ear, reposting great replacement conspiracies, but then he gets endorsed by the ADL because he went to Israel and said Israel's badass. That's an issue. And it's people like the ADL, it's people like Ethan, it's people like Richie Torres that give an excuse for, they give a pass to real anti-Semites because Hasan is such an easy target. He's an easy target for people that love Israel and they hate Palestinians. And so when you have guys like Hasan who are lightning rods for criticism of both people that hate Palestinians and people that, love Israel but are also anti-Semitic, then that's what's going to get the attention. And when we get more and more Nazi rallies, that's going to become less and less newsworthy. And it's not as sensational for a guy like Ethan Klein to cover a Nazi rally and say, wow, look at this Nazi rally. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that bad? As it is for him to try to get his friend banned. That's much more engaging for his audience. That's much more engaging for Ethan. It makes him feel like he can actually get something done and do something. It's a much more difficult and nebulous issue to actually target white supremacist groups that are emboldened by Donald Trump. That's a much harder issue than emailing Twitch advertisers and trying to get Hasan banned. Okay, so again, I do think this is an important issue to cover because it's not only hurting people's efforts to fight genocide in Palestine, it's not only creating space for Islamophobia to rise against Hasan, against people like Frogan, and against people like Bad Empanada. There has been an increase in Islamophobia. And when you have someone like Ethan Klein, who did have a good reputation, attacking them, that is giving people a space who have Islamophobic tendencies to also jump in there. They'll be like, oh, well, Ethan Klein said this, but Hasan's also like a gross Muslim who hates Jews. That's what you're going to get. So it not only hurts Palestinians, it increases the amount of Islamophobia, and it also hurts Jews because it's not focusing on the real material harms that Jewish people in America are facing. And I'm sorry, but comments saying free Palestine on your YouTube videos, on your TikTok videos, that is less than nothing when you compare it to Nazis marching through the street, when you compare it to Elon Musk, who is a believer in the Great Replacement theory, whispering in Donald Trump's ear, perched on his shoulder like that little bat monster on Jabba the Hutt. When you have guys like RFK, who sincerely believes that somehow the Jews teamed up with the Chinese to genetically engineer COVID to affect them less than the rest of the world. Right? So, as trivial as it might seem, it's just Twitch and YouTube drama between two friends. I think that it's spiraling into a bigger issue, for sure, with advertisers potentially leaving Twitch. And it is an example of how fascism defends itself. So, a bit of a downer note. Let's hope that I'm going to try to make tomorrow's episode a lot more fun. So stay tuned for tomorrow. I really appreciate everyone for watching. I know that this is getting tiresome. I've been covering this for weeks now, but I think that you guys enjoy watching it. I do enjoy breaking it down, even though Ethan's kind of been recycling into, like, he's been recycling back into talking points that I've already covered and already debunked. But, you know, we're getting different angles and stuff. So, yeah, I appreciate everyone watching. Please comment down below what you would like to see me cover next. There's a lot of different aspects of this drama that I did not cover in this video, like more tweets from Ethan or more Instagram posts from Ethan that we didn't watch, more like content creators that we didn't watch. I'm thinking of covering Asmongold next because he's so dumb and it would be fun to rip into him. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this video, what else you'd like to see me cover. Yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. See you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.